Good morning. This is Lori at Lobelia Travels. And I just realized I have yet to actually go back and check and make sure that the microphone's actually working. Anyway, I'm sure I'll find out soon enough. The fact that I'm actually starting to get some views on this channel, so that's really, really cool. I appreciate every one of you. It is currently 10:32 a.m. Central Standard Time here in northern Mississippi, and as you can see, it is raining. I'm having a little bit of rain yesterday and today. I think they've mostly taken us off the schedule for severe storms today. My car is still not happy, but it's never like the rain anyway. But we swallowed some bad fuel the other day, and probably another day to clear the light, the edge of the light, especially since it's raining, and because again, my car never likes the rain. I think mostly it comes down to the other 3 spark plugs that haven't been changed, but once I've got my tax refund, I should be able to do that with cash at that point and not have a car payment still, which is the main thing, is I do not want a car payment because I cannot afford a car payment right now. My mortgage payment's going to be enough, and the fact that I'm having a lot of trouble getting my hours at work right now is a major thing. So, real quick, and I'll go back to the other thing. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The computer, that's also that's kind of what the plans are there. But the other thing I was working on today was our introductory list for our hidden objects game that we're going to be doing on locations and on the Drivetime. I've got 2 different lists, and I haven't fixed it for the description on the channel yet, but it is going on the descriptions of the videos as I get them. So if y'all want to visit and download the document that I'm going to be using, then that will be available. So I've got a lot of things on there. There's going to be a lot of things to be added. The idea is to make it as fun as possible. And, when we're doing the Drivetime stream, when we're doing the streams, I would definitely encourage people to comment with things that they see. Yeah, we just have some points for hunters. It was a hunting party. Points for high-vis stuff, points for construction zones. These are things I haven't written down yet. It's a work in progress, and unfortunately, if I'm thinking about it while I'm on the road and I don't have a chance to write it down, then it's going to be harder to include that. But we'll get there. It's going to be a really long list of things that you can get points for. But that's kind of part of the fun. It's like you've got a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. It's really positive. I mean, I can look for some Easter eggs that we can add to it too. Among these are really unusual type of things. I was thinking yesterday, scoreboards for sporting events, but then it'd be really cool to have extra points if you found one that was not digital, the old-fashioned ones. I don't even know if there's any of those around anymore. So there's some Easter eggs. Anyway, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of it's going to be, basically there's 2 versions. There's the urban version, urban used very, very loosely, so to cover villages, towns, cities. And then there's a version for Drivetime that's going to focus more on cars, vehicles, scenery, landmarks that you might see from the road, but not necessarily visit. Might include different types of roadkill. That was a bald eagle. Open that. Okay, I saw that armadillo last night. It wasn't the one I hit the night before streaming, but I don't know how to do that. It'd be kind of cool if I could do that. You know, have something that's just automatically added at the end of each video as it's streaming, so I don't have to go back and I'll still have to go back and edit it, but it won't be as much work. You know, I can put the basic details. Oh, I can probably turn the windshield wipers down a little bit. You know, cemetery counts for some points. I think that's like 5 points because they're really common. So, you know, things that are really common are going to be worth fewer points than something that's rare. In almost every situation, you can only get one set of points for an object that you see. There are some exceptions, which are on my list. And at least one of them is really funny, but isn't well, some of them are really funny. But it's also a little bit serious, but, you know, and one is definitely worth the extra points if you can see it. Especially since there's only one location in the United States, in the world, as far as I know, that you can see that one object. So, and that one object will be 150 points. Because it's not unusual, but it's also worth seeing. I've seen it, so. Yeah, it's going to be lots more things added to the list, but there's a decent list now, and it is linked on my the first stream that's on this channel. So if you go back to that one, you can see it now, but otherwise you'll just have to wait until I get to the point that I can update things more quickly. And I was going to put it on my About section today, and I ran out of time, had to get to work, so. Now, tomorrow morning, we're going to be going over to Hernando, Mississippi. I've got to pick up some chickens. So we'll do a drive time to Hernando. Might do a drive time after, depends. But we also might do a hidden objects thing in Hernando, Coldwater, and Senatobia. If we feel like it, we'll just see what happens. You know, those would be streamed separately. I don't think the weather's going to be nice enough to do any location ones, and like I said, we're gonna have probably about 6 chickens in the back of the car, so I will not be able to leave them for very long. Obviously, even though it's going to be cool, we don't want to leave them too long, so I don't want to stress them out too much. So. Okay, it'd be nice if you're on your side of the road. Thank you, buddy. Should probably do 5 points for Jeeps. Yeah, 5 points for a Jeep, 10 points for a Jeep Wrangler, 20 points for vintage or antique Jeep. Yeah, that's probably one that's going to get added. I wish I could write everything down while I'm driving. I probably could if I had my notebook out and available. I don't know if I can get to it or not. If I can at the stop sign, I'll do that. Because that's the thing, you see things while you're driving. You don't necessarily think about it when you're somewhere else. I was just thinking too, if you can see a face in the rocks, that would definitely be cool. You can have 5 points for that. You know how those rock outcroppings when you drive past, you know, mountains and stuff like that, they have sometimes they look like they have a face in them, and you can get waterfalls in there, an unnamed waterfall off the rock cropping or something like that, versus a big waterfall that would be a landmark type waterfall. And you can get credit for each one of those. So if you're going up the Columbia River Gorge, you can get a point. You can get one for Horsetail Falls, for Bridal Veil Falls, for Multnomah Falls, Lucia Falls is a little bit different place in Clark County, Washington. Yakult Falls, Molten Falls. Each one that has a name that's that you can find on the map, you can include that. And that can be separate. So that's part of the other thing, is to encourage everybody to get out and explore where they are, because there's a lot of places that you can find. And if y'all do your drive times and you do your hidden objects and games, tag me and I'll take a look. I may not have time to watch it because right now I've got to work my 9 to 5. Oh, I shouldn't even say 9 to 5. It's more like noon to 10 p.m. I'll give or take at either end. I was going to grab my notebook real fast, and I don't know if I have time. There we go. Turn it to a page so I can kind of sort of write while I'm driving. It's not too bad, hopefully. Faces, waterfalls. Let's see, what else did I see? Oh yeah, hunters, fishermen. Gonna add a woman hunting, fishing. She can be worth extra because it's not as common. And see, that's the thing. It's that bed. Okay, bed, tire, whatever, discarded on the side of the road. Oh my gosh, a bathtub. Now see this little gas station. I've put gas stations on my landmarks, but I've put on stores, but I've only put the independent ones, and diesel oil is not independent. Slightly delayed reaction on the acceleration there. Let's see. And there are several spots on my hidden objects list that actually take away points, and hopefully you'll get a little bit of a laugh out of it when you see what those are. But I think it is actually also important as a more or less that is different, because it's although it's not quite hands-free, it can be, but it's not always. But it's generally not as distracting as a phone. There's a difference between holding it to your mouth and holding it to your ear. And, you don't normally do a lot of adjusting and stuff while you're using ham radio. You just you've got your spot, and you're not having to do a lot of changes and stuff. I'll just say it's no more distracting than using a radio and talking to somebody listening to a radio station and talking to the person next to you. Weird blue light on somebody's house there. I was trying to look at what that was. Slightly distracted there, but do need to make a list of churches that can be contributing to your list for your points. I was mentioning yesterday, the ones you don't any town. Let's do. Objects game, which we haven't completely started yet. But even now, if you see things on the road that I should add to the list, then go ahead and put comment. However many you want to add, honestly, for other people to find, then that would be cool too. It would add the interactiveness. This could be a lot of fun. So be good if you could add like 10 things that people should spot, whether during the drive time or during the hidden objects on site with, town thing. Be kind of fun. See if everybody can find what you found. What hidden gems have I missed? As who knows, I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at it. If I can figure out what I missed. Yeah, we're on Mississippi Highway 7. Ford just joined us from Senatobia. We will be taking that home tomorrow. And it's likely we'll do a drive time stream on the return journey. So vultures and oh deer. I need to find out what I can do to be legally allowed to pick up the roadkill. Hopefully I'm just generally allowed to. But see if it's fresh. And if the vultures are on it, it's fresh. It's fresh enough. And take that home and process it and get some free food that way. Day after, you're not going to be able to use the organ meat, but you can probably use everything else. Okay, I was just making sure that he was in the correct lane for where he's going next. That was a dangerous intersection. Let's see, I'm going to add roundabout. I can add some other road features, road signage. Probably have some points for each freeway, interstate or U.S. highway. Hopefully, eventually, maybe other people make their own hidden objects lists that we can download or look at and adjust and stuff. And you, of course, might have a different opinion of what points things should have. I did sort of decide that 5 should be the minimum assigned because that gives you some flexibility if you want to do something that's, lower. And Otherwise, I'm gonna mostly just be using increments. So far I've got like 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100, and then 150. Forgot that I've got tea in that my water bottle today. As I didn't have time to mess with my water kefir, so I'm just gonna put up that window. Didn't have time to do my water kefir, so that didn't happen. So I needed something to take with me, so I grabbed a tea bag of Lady Grey tea, Twinings. Which is doubly good because I did go decently well with the water kefir. That there's still a little bit of it in that water bottle, just not much. I am putting a category for severe weather, and we'll include rain, hail, thunderstorm, tornado. However, if you get hit by a tornado, that's gonna be a minus 150 points because we're trying to be safe. You know, emergency vehicles, flashing lights are for you. You're gonna lose points. Simple as that. My daughter was right. I made some chocolate cheesecake the other day, and on the whole, it was actually a fail as a cheesecake, but it's actually a decent fudge. It's like halfway between a fudge and a cheesecake. Makes a decent snack when you put that in perspective. Oh, I need to put trains on there. Freight train, passenger train, steam train. Obviously, extra points for light rail. I don't know what you call those buses that are on wires to the U.S. Put a cable car / trolley. We might do an additional thing that where, if my daughter's with me so she can write things down for me, if we see really unusual things, we'll write it down and make a note of it, see if we can find them. And definitely if you're going to be watching to, fast speed, 2 times speed or something like that, just so you can see it better. Or see it faster. And it's totally fine if somebody finds things and posts the timestamps. That's good too. Do that and I'll like your comment. Not something I'm going to have time to do, so I appreciate anything you all do for me on that. And if I manage to catch you in your car and you post what time, that's not going to work. Because you could just make it up and I'd have no way of verifying it, so it's okay. There's a person. Yeah. Person on the freeway, on a bicycle. Generally speaking, that's not. I also thought, you can add out-of-state license plates. So, and you can go. I'm actually really talking about out of areas. So right here where we're on the border of Mississippi and Tennessee, I wouldn't count Tennessee. Honestly, I wouldn't even count Alabama or Arkansas because those are neighboring states. But something like Illinois, I would definitely count. And it's up to you whether you want to count by state. I definitely think it's something that's worth doing. See how many different states you can get on a travel, especially if you're going longer distance. See how many states you can catch. If you're doing a long distance one, I wouldn't even worry about whether the state was a neighboring state or not. Just get one from each state then. Then there's gonna count pink and purple cars just because. You be hateful? Okay. Somebody is being passive aggressive, I think. Dang, when I took out the idea of it being cheesecake and then substituted the idea of it being fudge, that's actually good. Kept meaning to do a motorhome. filled up that page. I'm going to have to turn the page. All these things that I missed earlier, and I already have. That the page is set up landscape on 3 columns. You also have a wind farm, private windmill, turbine, mill. Okay. Nothing wrong with you all using your Google Maps or whatever to kind of pre-locate what you're looking for in a town. That's totally allowed, and it's not gonna be criticizing how you play the game anyway, because otherwise that's gonna take away the fun in that. But if you want to use a map, you can. Definitely worth adding if you post your stream. Tell me if you're doing it without having pre-looked at the maps. Small towns, obviously, that's going to be a lot easier than big towns. But if you're gonna, honestly, if you're gonna do hidden objects without looking in advance, that's brave and with the person. Adverse things like that. The car broken down. Car breakdown. Sick person. Pee break. Bad things. Now, if it's you, it doesn't count. You can't use it, or it's going to give you negative points. Actually, if your car breaks down, then you can have 100 points because you're having a bad day. Turn off the windshield wipers. Okay, so I'm having a headlight out, so that's 5 points. If it's actually missing, 10 points. Tail light, same thing. Missing mirror. Bumper. If you drive around Memphis, you'll find that a lot. I just lost I-22 back there. I do think that driving at the beginning or end of a freeway definitely counts. If you're there to begin or end a numbered highway, that's kind of cool. Yeah, there you go. Overpass, 5 points. If it's during a severe storm and and you're trying to stop there, negative 50 points for being dangerous. Named river, 5 points each. Coldwater River. If it's named on the map, if it's named on the highway, or you've looked at the maps, you know what it is. You can have 5 points for that too. And we'll reward your hard work. I won't really be able to do the hidden objects one while I'm driving drive time if I'm just going to work because I don't have my daughter with me. And there's no way that I'm going to be able to safely keep points. Because I can't look at the map. I can't look at the list either, so. And, some of this just really is for a 2-person. Anything else isn't going to really be safe. You could actually just say it while you're driving and, I don't know, maybe keep a tally. I'm not even sure how you do that. Just be safe. Remember that you're going to lose points if your carelessness causes an accident. Dang, that foot really is good like that. I might have to just keep the recipe just for that reason. Water towers for the cities will count. I think just one water tower per city, but I've got a problem that I've got to let. Oh, there's a Cybertruck. That'll be separate. Okay, I can't move out because there's no space, and I have to exit in a mile anyway. I'm thinking about these towers. I mean, towers are definitely landmarks. The problem is there's actually a lot of them, so it's going to have to be probably a really low value, and you're only going to build a count at once, I think. Unless, of course, and I just missed my exit. How did I just miss my exit? That is most bizarre, because I'm not paying attention. Okay, well, I'm going to have to get off here and go back on Craft Road. That is so weird. Alright. Oh, I'll just go this way. Go through the park. I've got time, it's alright. See, that's what happens when you're thinking about other things, not paying attention. I've never done that before, but another reason I have to give myself extra time in the morning, just in case I might do something stupid like miss my exit. Yeah, for some reason I thought it was still at Hatton's Cross. Anyway. It's a difference between laziness and just wanting to have the lights on still. After all, the Orthodox Christmas, the original one, is in January nowadays. Some places they still celebrate in January, including countries as well, but my daughter noticed that Russia celebrates it on the 7th of January. Muscovy duck is still there. This is the Olive Branch City Park. Ball fields. Bonus points if there's a game playing. think it will try to cap the list at 2 pages, though. The reason being is then they can, 2 pages per list. I don't know. Might change my mind on that. But the thought being that you can print out the pages, laminate them back to back, then you have one sheet that you could use with a marker, the washable marker. Anyway, I am almost at my destination now. Thank you for being with me. This is Lori at Lobelia Acres. It is nearly 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Please join me tomorrow for a stream time that will be around 8 o'clock in the morning, my time. And until next time, take care. Bye for now.